Russian President Vladimir Putin's conditions for ending the war in Ukraine include a written promise from Western leaders to stop NATO's eastward expansion and the lifting of some sanctions on Russia, according to 3 Russian sources familiar with the talks. President Donald Trump has often said he wants to end the deadliest European conflict since World War II. Recently, he expressed frustration with Putin, warning that the Russian leader was playing with fire by refusing ceasefire talks with Kyiv, even as Russian forces advanced. After a 2-hour call with Trump last week, Putin said he agreed to work with Ukraine on a memorandum outlining a peace agreement and ceasefire timeline. Russia is currently drafting its version but cannot say how long it will take. Kyiv and European governments accuse Moscow of delaying talks while pushing forward in eastern Ukraine. Putin is ready to make peace but not at any price, said one senior Russian source familiar with Kremlin thinking. The sources said Putin wants a written guarantee from major Western powers that NATO will not expand eastward, effectively ruling out membership for Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova. Russia also wants Ukraine to remain neutral, some Western sanctions lifted, frozen Russian assets in the West resolved, and protection for Russian speakers in Ukraine. The first source added that if Putin cannot get a peace deal on his terms, he will use military force to show Ukrainians and Europeans that peace tomorrow will be even more painful. The Kremlin did not comment on the report. Putin and Russian officials have said any peace deal must address the root causes of the conflict, referring to Moscow's goals of denazifying and demilitarizing Ukraine. Kyiv insists Russia should not have veto power over its NATO membership hopes and says it needs strong Western security guarantees to prevent future Russian attacks. Trump, who values his friendly ties with Putin and believes the Russian leader wants peace, warned that the United States may impose more sanctions if Moscow delays a settlement. He also suggested on social media that Putin had gone absolutely crazy after an unprecedented air attack on Ukraine last week. The first Russian source said Putin would press further into Ukraine if he saw a tactical chance, and that Russia could continue fighting for years despite Western sanctions and economic pressure. A second source said Putin is now less willing to compromise on territory, holding firm to his public claim on all 4 eastern Ukrainian regions Russia claims. Putin has toughened his position, the second source said,